The Tea Party GOP shut down the federal government for almost 3 weeks because of their hatred of Obama and Obamacare. And what they don't want the public to know is that Obamacare is actually working. I have attorney Howard Nations here to tell us about it. Howard, part of Republican leadership are saying, damn it, we messed up again by allowing Obamacare to pick up steam while we were trying to shut down the government and put all of America into the new Great Depression. And it's an interesting development, isn't it? How they stepped on it themselves.
Well, it actually was a backfire that occurred during the shutdown, because at the end of the first week of the shutdown, there was a survey that showed that 62% of 2012 voters actually support Obamacare and the implementation of the Affordable Care Act. And so the perceptions have changed since 2012. The opposition, which they constantly like to say is 46% opposed to Obamacare, the fact is the opposition is a solid 38%, because 8% of that 46 want universal health care. They're unhappy because it doesn't go far enough. The 38% that oppose Obamacare are those primarily who live in the Republican bubble and get their information from the Fox echo chamber.
Howard, isn't part of the problem that Americans are finally starting to pay attention to what this Health Care Act is all about? They now learn that if you had pre-existing cancer, in the old days, you couldn't get any kind of coverage at all, but now you can. They're learning that you can keep your child on health care protection for much longer. They're learning that you can shop these companies that absolutely are unwilling to negotiate at all. Well, now they have to negotiate. They're finding out that there is a ton of money moving into the system to provide jobs, to make their health care more extensive. These things are finally something the American public is paying attention to. Isn't that part of what we're seeing here?
Yes, and what's happened here, Mike, is that the president, unfortunately, has done a very poor job of selling his health care bill after it ceased to be a bill and became the Affordable Care Act. He did a great job of getting it passed in the first place. Since then, he's let the conversation be dictated by Ted Cruz and those who would seek to bring it down. The fact is, it's not a matter of what's going to happen with this bill. It's a question of what has already happened. Already, we have the pre-existing conditions are covered. Already, you have the 26-year-olds remaining on their parents' insurance. You have the availability of the insurance exchanges now, which is, of course, there's a glitch on that, but that's a technical problem that will be handled. If anybody can handle technology, it's the Obama administration. If he made a mistake, the mistake was he should have had the same kids who ran his campaign implement this.
No, if he wanted to really fix it, he ought to have the people that have NSA spying on us. He probably could have solved that a little bit easier. But at any rate, do you think at this point that the system has enough steam to where people are finally taking the time to read and understand what's there? I mean, the American public is so slow to understand a complex issue. The truth is, this isn't that complex.
It's not that complex, and it's a very easy sell. And as I say, it's a question of what's already happening. Right now, there are 2.5 million young adults who have gained health insurance. There are 40,000 Americans who are under the pre-existing condition insurance plan already. There are additional community health centers alone. What the HHS has done, $14 million was awarded in 2011 to school-based health centers, which increased the number of children being helped in primary care by 50%. Obamacare has set aside $200 million for school-based health centers offering primary care, dental care, mental health, substance abuse, and nutrition counseling to our kids. I mean, these things are already in effect. Now you're going to have 350 additional community health centers, creating 19,000 new jobs and serving 50 million critically underserved Americans when this thing's implemented.
Those are staggering numbers, Howard, but right now is the first, I think, to me, what I can't get past is right now, if you're looking at the numbers, if you're looking at the statistics, this is a hell of a statement about our democracy. But this is the first time that Americans are even understanding what's happening. The real losers here, obviously, are the billionaire inheritance babies, the Koch brothers, the huge multi-international corporation insurance companies that have lost this fight. And the further along it goes, the bigger they lose. Do you see that trend taking place?
I see it taking place, and the fact of the matter is that they've kicked the can down the road till January, and during this period of time, more and more things are coming into play. The longer this Affordable Care Act keeps going, the more people get covered. And it's not just the coverage itself that you get through the exchanges. It's the care that's already happening. The seniors alone save $2 million.
And Howard, we're out of time, but the truth is the Republicans let the train leave the station, and it's going to be very difficult to catch it.
Well, the success of Obamacare is the Republicans' worst nightmare, and it is already happening.
Howard, thanks for joining me, okay?